brothers and sisters, 40 years, and Pharaoh did not know that this man was not an Egyptian. The only way that can happen is that the Hebrews had to look just like the Egyptians. The Hebrews had to look just like the Egyptians. We're going to prove that. Scholars, biblical scholars, well, not really even biblical scholars. More so, we can say biblical scholars, archaeologists, and others have stated that the Pharaoh that stood on the throne of Egypt during the time Moses was born, the Pharaoh that was Moses' foster grandfather, was a Pharaoh by the name of Seti the First. Pharaoh Seti the First. In a book by a historian named George Rollison, he wrote a book called History of Ancient Egypt. Now on page 252, he gives us a physical description of what this Pharaoh Seti the First looked like. He said this: Seti's face was thoroughly African. He had a stormy face with a depressed flat nose, thick lips, and heavy chin. So we're looking at this, and this George Rollison is giving a description of what Seti the First looked like. Now, if this is the physical description of Seti, which it is, and we're going to see in just a moment, Moses had to have that same physical description, because remember, Seti said, "Kill all Hebrews at birth." Hebrew boys, get that right. Hebrew boys at birth. Save the daughter, but kill the son. Moses was just 3 months old. And so Pharaoh's own daughter brought him into the palace of Pharaoh and said, "This is your son. This is your grandson." So wow. Remember, Pharaoh said, "Kill all these baby boys at birth." But here come Moses. The only way that can happen, Moses had to look exactly like Pharaoh did. Moses' face had to be thoroughly African. He had to have a stormy face, flat nose, thick lips, and heavy chin. Otherwise, if Moses looked like Charleston Heston, if Moses looked like Steven Spielberg or any other Jew, and the Egyptians being a black people, then he would have stuck out like a sore thumb in the palace of Pharaoh, and Pharaoh would have took that baby out by the foot and dumped him in the Nile River until he breathed no more. But Pharaoh did not do that. Pharaoh thought this was his own flesh and blood child, grandson. Moses stayed in the palace of Pharaoh for 40 years. So right on your screen right now, you see a picture of the Pharaoh Seti the First. Here's another. Seti is right here on the right side, and that's his son Ramesses doing some kind of funeral rite on his father Seti that's taken from the tomb, from one of the Egyptian tombs. Here is another wall drawing of Pharaoh Seti the First. Here's a statue of Pharaoh Seti the First. Do you see? And notice that his nose is chopped off. But do you see this image on the left hand side? You see how that looks? Doesn't that fit the exact description that George Rollison just gave us? These images, brothers and sisters, are over 4,000 years old. Brother Obadiah did not go out into a cave last night and carve these images and then brought it back to you and say, "This is Pharaoh Seti the First." No, these images were here before any of us. They are preserved for us in this day. The Most High has preserved this so we can look and we can see, hey, Scripture says our people look just like this. Hey, but the people who are saying that they are descendants of the ancient Israelites don't look just like this. Hey, what's really going on here? You understand, brothers and sisters? You understand the point I'm trying to show you, trying to get across to you? This is Seti the First. This is Seti the First. This is Seti the First, the one that was Moses' foster grandfather. So Moses had to look just like him in order to pass for an Egyptian for 40 years. Because the critical key to understanding this is that Pharaoh gave a decree to kill all the Hebrews boys, to kill all the Hebrew boys at birth. And his daughter bring one into the palace of Pharaoh and say, "This is your grandson." And he believed her. He didn't know that was a Hebrew, because you could not physically tell the Hebrews from the Egyptians, from those black Egyptians. Now, we just seen what Seti the First looked like according to the records of the ancient Egyptians themselves. But we get this in the Ten Commandments. You see that image right there? The white guy right there playing Seti the First. This is supposed to be Seti the First. See, this is nothing but deception, and that deception has made us ignorant. This is deception. That deception has made us ignorant. This is the deception that has made us ignorant. It has presented a lie, and they have made that lie seem to be the truth. So that has made us ignorant of what the truth is. You see how it works, brothers and sisters? Oh, it's going to get heavier as we go along in this. This is what they give you. That's what they give you. But yet, we see that the archaeological record, the truth, give us this. This is thus says the truth. So Moses the Hebrew was a black man. As we're going to see, all the Hebrews were. They were a black people. They were not European in their appearance. Let's go to Exodus chapter 2. Let's get more information about our brother Moses right here. Exodus chapter 2, verses 16 through 19. Now, Pharaoh found out. That's why Moses only stayed in the land of Egypt for 40 years, because what we get from the understanding of these scriptures is that Pharaoh found out that Moses was Hebrew. And Pharaoh tried to kill Moses. So Moses had to flee the land of Egypt. Moses fled into a place called Midian. Midian is located in Saudi Arabia today. So Moses had to flee from Egypt to Saudi Arabia and to the land of Midian. Now, while he was there in Midian, verse 17 tells us that Moses helped these sisters water their flock, and he chased away some bully shepherds. Verse 18 says that these sisters went home and they told their father Reuel. They came home to their father Reuel, and he was shocked to see the sisters home back so soon. He said, "How is it that you are come, so soon today? How is it that you finished, watering the flock already? When it takes y'all at least 2 hours, every other day. But what got y'all here so quick today?" And so, verse 19, the sisters say to Father Reuel, to their father Reuel, they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hands of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock." So we see right here, they say an Egyptian delivered us. Now the story, if you read it from Exodus chapter 2, verses 16 through 19, and these verses are on the screen, you see right there that Moses was the one to chase away these bullies, these shepherds, because these shepherds came and they saw that it was just women there. So they went and said, "Hey, y'all got to move back out the way. I'm going to water my flock first. I don't care if y'all was here first or not. I'm going to do mine first. So I'm going to go into this well and get my water first." So Moses saw that, and Moses, being the man that he was and being a true man of Yah, Moses stood up in these sisters' stead, and Moses did what he had to do as a man, and he, put down that smackdown on these bully shepherds and chased them away. And so Moses got the water for the sisters, and he helped them to water their flock, water their sheep and goats and so forth, bring water so they can drink. And so when they went back home and they told their father, they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hands of the shepherds." So they calling Moses the Hebrew. Moses the Hebrew, they called him an Egyptian. They didn't say a Hebrew dressed in Egyptian clothing. No, they referred to Moses as a blood descendant of Ham, a black Egyptian. They referred to him as an Egyptian. So do you see, brothers and sisters, right here on the screen now? What did those sisters say? "And they said, an Egyptian delivered us." Right here, these are pictures of Egyptians. This is what the Egyptians look like. The sister said, "An Egyptian delivered us." When they went and told their father, "An Egyptian delivered us," this is what they're talking about, people who look just like this. What you see on your screen right now is the Queen Tai, and you see next to her grandson, King Tut. Now, this image of King Tut was newly recreated, I think, in maybe 2003. It was created from the image of King Tut's skull. Now, this image was created, I don't know if you all are familiar with the new image that they created not too long ago, but that new image is very false. It's a European-looking image of King Tut. That's the false image. But this image that you see on your screen right now is an image that was created using forensic science and computer programs, and they put all this together. They measured his skull and everything, and this is the image that they came up with, and they said that this is what King Tut looked like when he lived in life. So we see that image of King Tut right there. That's the new one created with forensic science. Now be aware that forensic science is the science that they use today. They use it in court. When they go out and they find a body of a person, when they find their remains and it's out in the open field and it's just a skeleton, they would take the skull of that skeleton and they would reconstruct the face of that person using forensic science, and therefore they can put out, have anybody seen this person right here. And forensic science is very legitimate. So they used that to reconstruct King Tut's face, and they said that this is what this man looked like in life. You see that? He's a black man. And this is his grandmother right here. Now the image of his grandmother was created like 4,000 years ago. This is a bust created by the hands of the Egyptians. She was a queen. And this is her grandson right there, King Tut. Now doesn't it make sense? They look just alike. But I'm just showing you these Egyptian images because, and they said an Egyptian delivered us. That's what those sisters said, right? This is what the Egyptians look like. Right here, this is a statue of King Tut. This is an actual statue that was created about 4,000 years ago of King Tut. This statue was found in King Tut's tomb in 1922, I believe it was, when they went and they raided his tomb. And they came out, and this is one of the statues in there. Now this statue has him as jet black, but look at his facial features. It's the same facial features that we see right here with the forensic image. You see that? You see the wide nose, the thick lips? It's the same facial features. So we know that the one that's created right here with the forensic science is on point because we have an actual statue made of King Tut and they look alike. But the point of this is that this is the Egyptians. These are the Egyptians, and they said an Egyptian delivered us. When they told their father that an Egyptian delivered us, they described Moses as looking like an Egyptian. That's what the Egyptians look like. Right here, we have the image of the Egyptian queen, Nefertiti. Nefertiti